We start this half hour of Sunrise with the latest on the Rowena fire burning in the gorge. As of last update around 5 o'clock yesterday, the Rowena fire has burned 3,500 acres and is 0% contained. There are level 1, 2, and level 3 go now evacuation orders for the area. We have team coverage this morning. Rod Hill will look at the weather conditions and how it could impact the firefight. But first, let's go to Thomas Schultz, who is live in the gorge this morning. Thomas, what does it look like out there?
Well, China, we've been showing you some of the destruction that we've been seeing all morning long. We want to show it to you again, and just the amount of different agencies out here, too. This is Corbett Fire. Their rig just pulled up. Gresham Fire, if we pan to the left, has been focused on cleaning up these remnants of homes. We're going to step to the left over here a little bit. Looks like the rig, Corbett Fire, is trying to get through here. But they're up here. They're monitoring for hot spots of these homes. Obviously, we've talked to the people who own these homes, and they're destroyed, obviously. Nothing is left but just destruction and damage. But Gresham Fire right now is concerned about hot spots. They've been extinguishing small little flames that have sparked up in these homes all morning long. The thought process is that if winds increase or blow some of these ashes, there may be embers in those ashes that will then spark in other vegetation or other nearby homes, that some of which have not yet been damaged, and they're hoping to keep it that way. So they're really entrenched, trying to make these lines in an area where, frankly, they're just trying to stand their ground and stop this fire. This is looking a lot better than it did a day ago, but still there's a lot of work to be done. There's crews from all across our area. Portland Fire's out here. Corbett Fire's out here. You can see right now he's bringing the hose out. Gresham is here as well. Lake Oswego. So just crews from all over the area, not just west of where we are right now in Rowena, but also east, just everywhere from across Oregon, really doing what they can to come out here in full force and try to stop this fire in its tracks. We've also heard from some neighbors in this area right along Highway 30 who are just in complete shock by the destruction that they've seen.
So it's just like the metal skirting is just there. I mean, you can see my fence is burnt down. You can see in my yard that the firemen dug a fire line and saved the house. So that was amazing.
Amazing from her right there. And look, I mean, this is just around the clock service that they are doing all throughout today, all throughout yesterday, since this fire first sparked. We've got another crew coming down Highway 30. We're going to let them pass. This is Portland Fire and Rescue, and we're going to cross the street here if we can. That's just how busy it is. There's nobody out here. The road's closed. The only people out here are us and fire crews, and it's just been constant movement back and forth. Here they go, back in another crew in here as they're looking to monitor this situation a little bit more closely right here on these homes that have already burned. Clearly, they've seen some hot spots this morning. But before we let you go, China, I want to show you something a little bit interesting too. Right behind us is a home that is completely fine. You look right over there, that home is completely ruined. Now, the man who lives here is staying in this home. This is a level 3 evacuation site. He was supposed to go now days ago. He decided to stay, he says, in order to save his home. He told us he didn't want to do an interview, but off camera told me that he's been watering all sides of his yard, his grass, even his roof, to just make sure that he's able to protect his home. That's some of the things that people, even though they're not supposed to, even though the Wasco County Sheriff's Office is saying to go now in this level 3 evacuation zone, some people are deciding we're going to stay and we're going to try to protect our homes as best we can, despite the immense devastation that we've seen out here. He was fortunate. Obviously, some people's homes, not nearly the case. China?
Fires can be so unpredictable with what stays and what goes. And a few of the homes that were destroyed in the fire belong to one man who is now trying to figure out what to do next. Devin Haskins went to meet him.
Fire all around it.
A nightmare overnight.
Terrible, terrible. Smoke, wind blowing. Yeah, it was just terrible.
Frank Barber lives off Highway 30, currently a level 3 evacuation zone. When the Rowena fire sparked, his homes were right in its path.
This here was one of my rentals with my old mobile home.
Several homes now reduced to ashes.
Don't have no answer.
As he walks across the property, he points out what once was.
This over there was where the kids' trampoline was, and then you can see their bedroom was there. and then up there's where their swing set was at.
He owns 6 homes here, 4 of them rentals. All 4 lost to the Rowena fire in an instant.
When you see this, I mean, obviously there were memories here.
Yeah. I don't know.
He and his son David
This is where I lived right here, where my house was.
stayed through the night.
It moved so fast that, you know, we were at level 3 and that's all, there was no other level. I mean, there was no warning.
Trying to save what they could.
And that's one thing that does bother me a lot is I lost a lot of their stuff, you know, some mementos I was really proud of.
The fire so hot it melted car windows and destroyed memories.
It still hasn't hit me yet, you know, I'm still trying to keep a positive attitude about everything as much as a person could.
It took what it could of Frank and David's without any care.
You work all your life and this is what happens.
Devin Haskins, KGW News.
Well, let's go back to that area of the gorge. Here's our Oregon Veterans Home camera in the Dalles. It's one live camera we have in this area. You can see right back here is where the Rowena fire is burning, of course, on the Oregon side of the river. And the smoke kind of laid down overnight. You can see there's still some breezes, but 2 parts to the weather story, and they're all great. Number 1, it will be 8 degrees cooler today with highs only in the low 70s. And number 2, winds that were gusting to 30 plus will be closer to 20 miles per hour throughout much of the day today. We think peak gusts will be kind of where they are right now, between about 13 and then up to about 23, 25 miles per hour. So that's significantly better. And I still believe, as I said yesterday, that going into tomorrow, the winds will be even a little bit less as comfortable temperatures in that area continues. 55 right now, you saw the sun, and really not much smoke outside of that immediate fire zone right now. These were the peak gusts yesterday. The Dalles 38, Rowena 31, and then right across the Columbia is Lyle in Washington. They had a 40 mile per hour wind gust yesterday. Here's a look at what the weather modeling is showing for this afternoon. Again, kind of what we have right now, bouncing 20, 22, 24, 25 miles per hour. And that wind is carrying decent humidity levels with cooler temperatures today. So let's hope that by the end of today we have some containment numbers to share with you around that fire. The information we're getting is that the fire did not significantly push additionally to the east toward the Dalles, which is good news. Now, we haven't had somebody say that, but there hasn't been any information come out that that was the case overnight. So let's assume that the fire is kind of holding itself right now at 3,500 acres. Those showers out east will fade and then redevelop during the day today. Much of the gorge looks good. There's that camera out at Elk Ridge I shared earlier today in Carson, Washington. Here's the summit over Timberline. And then here is the Rose City camera, all looking mighty nice as well, with a temperature of, let me get this way, 53. We'll look for a high today all the way up to about 69 degrees in Portland. Nice, comfortable day, China.
Thank you, Rod. All right, we are taking a look now at the traffic. A reminder, just so you know, US 30 west of the Dalles remains closed this morning because of the Rowena fires as well. We'll have more on that in just a little bit. But right now, the Portland Metro haven't seen much activity except for a car that blew a tire on I-84. So this is a live look at the I-84 South at 37th. An emergency crew was there to assist that car. It's since been towed away. One of the lanes was blocked off, so you're seeing some slowing remnants of what was, but things will pick up here pretty shortly. In other news this morning, Portland police are investigating a deadly crash that left one person dead and shut down southbound I-5 for several hours. They say it happened just before 11:30 last night at North Killingsworth Street. When police got there, they found a motorcycle had crashed into the back of a construction vehicle. The motorcycle rider died at the scene. Police say this is the 12th fatal crash in Portland this year. A California appeals court has sided with President Donald Trump over his deployment of the National Guard to Los Angeles. This comes as final preparations are underway for the United States' first military parade in decades. NBC's Chris Perlone has the latest.
As anti-ICE protests spread from California to cities across the country, a federal appeals court says President Trump can continue to direct National Guard troops he sent to Los Angeles to help quell violent demonstrations. The reversal just hours after a lower court gave California Governor Gavin Newsom a sweeping but short-lived victory.
Today is a big day for the Constitution of the United States, for our democracy.
While migrant roundups continue, the president acknowledging his crackdown is impacting businesses and appears to be considering a policy change.
We can't do that to our farmers, and leisure too, hotels.
The passionate debate over immigration reaching from the streets
I have questions for the secretary.
to the highest levels of government. California Senator Alex Padilla forced from the room and briefly handcuffed after interrupting Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem during a news conference.
I began to ask a question. I was almost immediately forcibly removed from the room. I was not arrested. I was not detained.
Padilla's Democratic colleagues outraged.
That sickened my stomach. The manhandling of a United States senator. We need immediate answers to what the hell went on.
Secretary Noem insisting it was a case of mistaken identity.
We sat down for 10 to 15 minutes and talked about the fact that nobody knew who he was.
Meanwhile, final preparations are underway for the nation's first military parade in more than 30 years Saturday. The forecast in Washington not looking good.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the tanks at all. It doesn't affect the soldiers. They're used to it. They're tough, smart.
The parade celebrates the Army's 250th anniversary. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Washington.
2 Oregon universities are throwing their support behind Harvard in its lawsuit against the Trump administration. Oregon State and the University of Oregon have signed what's known as an amicus brief on behalf of Harvard. It's a statement to the court showing their support for the school as Harvard sues the Trump administration over funding cuts and freezes. The brief says, in part, quote, the universities conduct fundamental research that has advanced scientific knowledge, safeguarded national security, strengthened the American economy, and saved countless lives. Their work is vital to American competitiveness and leadership. Your time now is 7:12. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at weather.
We are seeing a variance of cloud conditions out there this morning. Generally, this is a decent marine push, which is going to cool our temperatures down a little bit from the last couple of days. And if you are clear right now, you could still cloud over between now and 9 o'clock because we think the cloudiness will continue to spread out somewhat. Here's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club out in Aloha in Washington County, of course. And you can see the blue and then the clouds on the horizon. So you folks might cloud over yet. You're at 53. Now, if you go golf course to golf course, here's Camas Meadows out on the east side, of course. Looks like they're getting ready for a golf tournament with the carts lined up. They are cloudy, not much wind out there this morning. Temperatures are kind of where we've been lately, 40s to low 50s, 53 in downtown. It's 48 down in Tigard, 49 in Oregon City this morning. Salem, your number is 51. It's 45 out in Silverton on this Friday morning. Here's the afternoon map. Scattered showers currently going on over the Blues. Will redevelop this afternoon. Not a ton of rain. It does not look like a storm threat, but scattered showers. Notice the highs only in the 70s out east. Areas that hit 80 yesterday expected to be quite a bit cooler. The Dalles was around 80 yesterday. This shows 72 later today at 5 o'clock. And we may stay in the upper 60s and not hit 70 here in Portland. It's going to play out to be a day. It's kind of a mixed bag of low cloud areas and then some developing sunshine. 69 the high. The weekend's more like just mostly sunny. I think mid-70s tomorrow for a really nice Saturday. Father's Day, we have at 81 degrees, so a little bit warmer, sunny, but still nice. And then we have a rain chance with cooling temperatures again taking hold Tuesday afternoon. And that rain chance with cooler weather could extend well into that upcoming weekend. So a lot of comfortable days in our forecast. Back to you.
Thank you, Rod. Your time is 7:13, and our top story all morning has been the Rowena fire burning near the Dalles this morning. Right now, US 30 just west of the Dalles remains closed due to the fire. You can see that purple showing the block there, but we do have the latest on that on our website on KGW.com. We'll be right back.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
Hold on.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Why? Are you okay?
Call it a form of initiation. This is what happens when a police officer from New York moves to Florida and encounters his first alligator. It's a baby alligator, but it's an alligator. You can see by his reactions, he was not a fan of that. Officer Martinez responded to what's called a very Florida situation, an alligator wandering into someone's property. After the gator was caught, Martinez eventually worked up the courage to hold it, bless his heart. In the end, the gator was safely relocated to another area. No officers, including Officer Martinez, were harmed.
Size of a New York rat, though, right?
Oh, see, that's why I can't live in Florida. Alligators, they're everywhere.
I like when we get the stories out of Alaska. And there's like a bear cub that wanders into the grocery store, and the guy just picks up the bear cub and says, "You get out of here, you little Dickens."
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, alligators, too common.
All right. The update for the winds this afternoon in the Dalles, and it's the closest reporting site we have to give you tabular data like this, but you would assume they would be very similar in Rowena in that fire. And breezy, but not nearly as windy as yesterday. Northwest winds generally bouncing about 20 to no more than 25. Yesterday, the gusts were between 30 and 40. So that's a big improvement. And with it comes temperatures that were near 80 yesterday in the low 70s today. That's also good news. So fingers crossed, we'll get some containment numbers today from those fire crews that continue to battle that blaze. There's no rain in the forecast in that area of our state. There are showers out east and running up into the blues currently. No storm threat, just scattered rain showers. Here's the Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lake City. It's Friday, and if you're going to the coast, you'll find clouds this morning, but most beaches expected to become partly cloudy during the day. It's 53 in Lincoln City right now. Here's a pretty shot from some sun coming through a cloud deck over the Chehalem Tasting Room out in Sherwood, 46. Again, we've been seeing the cloudiness, generally speaking, kind of expand. And then eventually this afternoon we'll start to break out of it. It's kind of a mixed bag. We have varying conditions out there right now in terms of sky condition. We're 52 in Newport and Astoria, overcast skies, 53 in Portland, mid-50s out in the Dalles, also 55 out in John Day. So temperatures are pretty similar. It is overcast all the way up I-5 through Seattle this morning, but dry. 50 is the number up there. There go the showers this morning working out. Here's the mix of low clouds, especially from Portland northward. And then this afternoon, more showers redevelop and kind of run up into the Blue Mountains as we break out of the clouds somewhat here on the west side. This does show that parts of southwest Washington up towards Seattle could potentially just remain mostly cloudy today, and that will help keep temperatures on the cool side for this time of the year. So at the beach, morning clouds, afternoon sun, upper 50s to about 60 degrees, northwest winds 10 to 15. Valley, it's generally a light northwest wind. As you go southward, you find a better chance of hitting 70. This shows Corvallis 70. It keeps Salem at 68. And out in the gorge, we talked about the winds today, northwest 12 to 25. Not as windy as yesterday. Hood River only in the 60s. That's a cool day for June, right? And then 73 in the Dalles itself. 69 in the Rose City today. 75 tomorrow. Now your Father's Day weekend, both days look to be mostly sunny. A bit of a warm-up, but nothing crazy. 81 on Father's Day afternoon, 81 on Monday. And then the temperature goes back down, and we get into some shower chances on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that is your update.
Thank you, Ron.
I would just go as far to say I just don't even think it should be regulated. I think it should be completely banned.
Coming up in 2 minutes, an update to a KGW investigation involving nitrous oxide, what lawmakers are doing to try to get the gas out of the hands of kids. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues right after this.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We do want to tell you about some breaking news that we're covering this morning.
Police are asking some people to stay inside their homes.
For the past few hours, we've watched officers coming and going.
Flames blowing in this wind that's been gusting all morning long.
There are level 3 go now evacuation orders in place.
New information that we just got from Portland police.
There is no danger to the public. We'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage right here on KGW Plus.
Now to a KGW investigation into a product experts are calling dangerous and addictive. We're talking about nitrous oxide, otherwise known as laughing gas. Now, Oregon lawmakers have made it tougher for kids to access it. Kyle Aboshi has the update.
We found it on store shelves in big, colorful tanks with candy-like flavors. Nitrous oxide, or laughing gas, is sold throughout Oregon in convenience stores, gas stations, and mini-marts. It's as easy to buy as a bag of chips or a soda. Just ask, and it's yours.
It is heavy.
I just don't think that people even realize what this is or what it does or how easy it is to get it.
But soon, Representative Emily McIntyre warns it won't be so easy for kids to access. The Oregon legislature passed a bill requiring anyone buying nitrous canisters to be carded, verifying they're at least 18 years old.
Does it go far enough?
No, not in my opinion.
McIntyre, who sponsored the bill, admits it's a first step. She's considering an all-out ban on recreational use of nitrous oxide in Oregon.
There's just really not a lot of reason that I can see that we need it.
For years, people used small doses of nitrous oxide as a party drug by inhaling the small cartridges used to make whipped cream. Recently, though, health officials have raised concern after a surge in dangerous cases. In March, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration warned intentional misuse of nitrous oxide can lead to serious adverse health events, including death. Previously, KGW spoke with the Gresham couple temporarily paralyzed after prolonged use of the gas.
I would just go as far to say I just don't even think it should be regulated. I think it should be completely banned.
Cities and states across the U.S. have passed laws restricting access. Last year, Louisiana became the first state to ban the sale of nitrous oxide to the general public. It's also been outlawed in the UK.
Possession of nitrous oxide, also known as laughing gas, is going to be made illegal by the end of the year.
U.S. federal law prohibits the sale of nitrous oxide for recreational use, inhaling it. But companies can get around that if they say it's for food purpose only. This loophole allows them to sell it legally as a culinary product in smoke shops, gas stations, and mini-marts.
I can't see a reason to have this be readily available for anyone, especially minors.
Nitrous oxide abuse can have deadly consequences. We're already working on our next story examining a fatal crash in Lynn County. The impaired driver, who was convicted of manslaughter, had nearly 80 Whippet canisters in his car. In the coming weeks, we'll be looking at who's manufacturing and selling nitrous oxide. If you'd like to see our previous stories, check out our website, kgw.com, or the KGW YouTube channel. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
Now to your morning rush. Israel launched a series of strikes this morning targeting Iran's nuclear program and an underground command center. Iran has confirmed that the head of the Revolutionary Guard's missile program was killed in the attack. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described the attack as a last resort to prevent a nuclear-armed Iran. Iran's president says his nation would strongly take action against Israel. We are learning more about the India passenger plane bound for London that crashed shortly after takeoff, showing the plane slowly descending and then it exploding into a heavily populated area. Officials say there were 242 passengers and crew on board. Only one person has been confirmed to have survived. And right now, a jury is hearing closing arguments in the trial of Karen Reed, the woman accused of hitting and killing her cop boyfriend with her car. The defense rested their case on Wednesday without Reed taking the stand, and then the judge gave the jury the day off yesterday. This is Reed's second trial after a mistrial was declared last year when the jury was unable to reach a unanimous verdict. And that's a look at your morning rush. Taking a live look at the Dows at 7:26 on your Friday. We are tracking the Rowena fire. Thomas Schultz joins us live next. Sunrise streaming at 7 continues.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We do want to tell you about some breaking news that we're covering this morning.
Police are asking some people to stay inside their homes.
For the past few hours, we've watched officers coming and going.
Flames blowing in this wind that's been gusting all morning long.
There are level 3 go now evacuation orders in place.
New information that we just got from Portland police.
There is no danger to the public. We'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage right here on KGW Plus.
I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. Of course, our big story continues to be the fire, the Rowena fire out in the East Gorge. The smoke kind of laid down last night. This is the Oregon Veterans Home camera. There's the fire zone right there looking back off to the west. It's 55 in the Dows. It will be a much cooler day in the gorge. Yesterday it was near 80. Today, low 70s to even upper 60s. Winds are currently still breezy, gusting to 23, but that's far better than yesterday when the winds were bouncing 35 and even stronger. So good news on the weather front. Here's downtown Portland. Not everybody in the valley is cloudy, but many of us are, and certainly over downtown. We're at 53. This would be a kind of a cat and mouse day between low cloudiness and then eventually some breaks in the cloud cover and warming up, maybe staying shy of 70. I have us at 69. Your Father's Day weekend, mostly sunny both days and really pretty nice. 75 tomorrow, 81 on Sunday, 81 on Monday. And then we have more cool weather coming with rain chances returning to the 7-day late Tuesday into Thursday.
We We start this half hour of Sunrise with the latest on the Rowena fire burning in the gorge. As of last update, just after 5 o'clock yesterday, it's 3,500 acres and is 0% contained. There are level 1, 2, and 3 evacuation orders for the area. About 10 miles stretch of US 30 is also closed this morning because of the fire. You can see the closure there in purple. We have team coverage this morning. Rod Hill will look at the conditions that we can expect today. But first, we're going to head over to Thomas Schultz live in the gorge this morning. Thomas, what does it look like out there?
Well, China, all morning long, we've had gusts of wind, not nearly as strong as yesterday, but still blowing pretty heavily out here. And we want to show you just where that fire and smoke is now, up on the ridge above us. We're on Highway 30 right now, but you can see where that fire and that smoke continues to burn up above. Of course, fire marches uphill. That's what seems to be happening here. But even on the ground level, if we go across the street here, we got to be careful because all across Highway 30, the only traffic on this road has been fire crews, but there's been a lot of them. I'm going to step out of the way here so we can see a little bit of what we're seeing up here. Gresham Fire has been working all morning long on hot spots, just extinguishing some of the small flames that they're seeing on these homes here that have been completely destroyed by the Rowena fire. They've even had some other crews that have come and helped them in the process. We got a rig right to the right of them of Corbett Fire, who's also here monitoring it. Portland Fire and Rescue has been here all morning long. But if you see, just look at, the immense destruction that we're seeing in homes here. Nothing is left but debris and rubble after these fires. Neighbors telling us that they just came in about an hour, swept through this area, destroying everything in its path a couple of days ago. And now all they can do is just try to remake their lives, find some of the remnants of what they can and rebuild the best they can. And all throughout the past couple of days here, we've heard from neighbors and those who saw the flames who are just in complete shock by the destruction.
Especially when you hear of homes going up. I heard of people who finally retire and they've lost everything, even their animals, their dogs, and it just hits home a little bit more.
And here we go right now. Portland Fire and Rescue has a rig just coming down this hill. They're talking to Corbett Fire, and it's pretty remarkable just how much cooperation and organization between all of these different agencies we've seen all morning long. We just had a Malala Fire rig past us, and it looks like Portland Fire and Rescue is backing in here as well. Corbett Fire's the one directing them as they're doing so. So obviously a lot of destruction. Again, 3,500 acres burned, 0% containment, at least 20 homes destroyed, a lot of them along this stretch of Highway 30. But the cooperation and the interagency wherewithal to work together throughout this fire and make sure that they're attacking these hotspots and checking for the areas. It's been remarkable, Rod, all morning long that we've seen. And obviously these guys have been out here for the past few days. We've started coming out here about 4 o'clock in the morning. We had crews overnight as well that have been here since 11. And these crews have been here the whole entire time. So a lot of interagency work that we're seeing out here. Rod, once again, the winds, they're around. It's a little bit blustery, but it's not where anything near or close to what we were seeing yesterday when we were out here.
You know, Thomas, yesterday it wasn't until the 11 o'clock hour that we got an update from the agencies that feed us the information. That update had yesterday jumped the fire from 25 to 3,500 acres. Thomas has not said in his reports, and we have not seen any information that things worsened at all last night. We still have a count of about 20 homes destroyed, not more than that. We also are not getting any word that this fire has marched farther to the east toward the Dalles. And if that is in fact true, of course, that is good news. We do know confidently that the weather will be much better today and much better tomorrow for the crews than it has been the last couple of days. I'm talking about cooler temperatures today, lighter winds today, and even lighter winds yet as we go into Saturday. And here's that live shot from the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. And again, this is the area where Thomas is reporting for us back in Rowena. on the Oregon side of the Columbia, of course. 55 out in the Dalles. This is probably similar to winds to what Thomas was referring to when he was just up for us. Northwest of 13, gusting to about 23. And that wind forecast should be pretty consistent. Yesterday, the Dalles had a gust of 38, Rowena 31. Lyle, which is just across the Columbia on the Washington side, had a gust of 40. But again, the plot of winds today, 20, 22, 23, 25. Breezy, yes. Much better than yesterday. And again, I think these winds could actually generally hold no more than 15 to 20 tomorrow. China, that's the update.
Thank you, Rod. Hey, something that just came in the newsroom, and I want to keep you updated on what's going on with the Rowena fire. The Wasco County Sheriff's Office just posted on their Facebook that a community meeting will be held tonight at 7 p.m. They said that they're going to do this at the Dalles High School auditorium. They said there that teams and local agencies will provide current fire update to the public. They also said that if you cannot attend, they will post the video later on YouTube and Facebook. So that's the latest information we got from Wasco Sheriff's Office. Again, happening tonight at 7 p.m. At the Dalles High School. Hopefully we can get an update before 7 o'clock. Of course, we'll keep you posted on that here on air, streaming, and on KGW.com. In the meantime, another fire sparked yesterday in neighboring Sherman County. This happened about 40 miles southeast of the Rowena fire. The Ferry fire has burned 5,000 acres as of last night and is 0% contained. It's prompted level 3 go now evacuations for that area. Now, this is burning in a rural area near Cottonwood Canyon State Park. People who live north of Highway 206 and south of Starvation Lane between the east intersection of Starvation Lane and the John Day River should leave immediately. And again, like I said, for more coverage on the Rowena fire, the fire I just talked about, as well as what's going on later tonight, you can find more details on KGW.com, a KGW mobile app as well. You can also stream KGW anytime on our free TV app, KGW Plus. And a reminder that US 30 just west of the Dalles remains closed this morning because of the Rowena fire. You can see the closure there in purple, so that will definitely impact any commutes that you may have had plans for your weekend. In your other headlines this morning, we got to get to a Portland man is facing 52 charges, including rape, for the alleged sexual abuse of a girl with developmental disabilities. 64-year-old Michael Coron was arrested last week after a 2-year investigation. Police say the abuse began in 2016 when the victim was 11 years old and continued for 7 years. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. Detectives believe that he may have additional victims and are asking anyone with information to come forward. In Oregon City, police have arrested a man they believe is responsible for a major fire at the old Blue Heron paper mill that happened earlier this year. During the investigation, detectives say that they identified several people living on the site and interviewed them, and that includes 21-year-old Christian Dukes from Oregon City. Now, Dukes is in jail and is charged with arson in the second degree. Police didn't share how he allegedly started that fire. Your time now is 7:37. Providence Health says that it's laying off some 600 employees across 7 states, including 134 workers right here in Oregon. Workers were notified this week that their positions are being eliminated as part of a larger restructuring effort. Now, their roles are primarily in non-clinical administrative positions, though Providence says some patient care roles are also impacted. Providence, Oregon CEO is now warning the changes could impact patients.
To care for Oregonians, and one that we do not take lightly, and we are working hard to minimize impact, but changes will need to occur in order for us to continue to deliver the high quality care.
Providence is pointing to systemic issues, including state laws around staffing levels, underfunding Medicaid programs, and diminishing insurance contributions. Cute! All right, Rod, listen to this. These are pictures sent in by viewer Amanda Baker from Vancouver. She says earlier this week, her husband drove his car in for an oil change, and while it was up on that lift, a mechanic discovered this. Can't tell what it is. It's a tiny kitten huddled close to the engine. The engine fan. Sorry, I'm not a car person. Somehow, the brave little kitty survived that drive, but when animal control tried to get the kitten out, he ran away. Then 7 hours later, Amanda says that she and her coworkers went back to the mechanic to look for the cat, and they found it. One of her coworkers took the kitten home and plans to keep it. The cat is now safe and eaten and happy. His name? Chipmunk.
So what I got, with the cat went traveling.
Yeah.
Then had a beer, the Corona box.
Yeah.
And then had something to eat.
Yep.
That's a full day.
Busy day.
Yeah.
You ask me.
Very cute, as you mentioned. All right, our Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City, we are dealing with a marine push. It hasn't been solid. There are breaks in the cloud cover, but at least half of us are waking up to overcast skies and probably will stay that way a good chunk of the morning hours. Chinook Winds Casino Resort is overcast but dry. There's no mist or anything like that coming out of these clouds. Here's Willamette Valley Vineyards in Turner off the exit there just south of Salem, and that pretty much is an overcast sky as well. Similar scene over downtown Portland, where our morning number is 53. Again, this is not one of those days where you have a mist or drizzle threat. It's just clouds up top. Temperatures out the door, 48 in Sherwood, 47 Happy Valley, 51 up in Battleground this morning. Other numbers for you, Salem's at 51, Albany the same, and it's 49 up in Aurora this morning. Rogue is our KGW dog of the day, out there on the beach having a good time. Use the email dogoftheday@kgw.com. Send us your dog's photo, the name, and your dog will become our dog of the day. All right, weather map for today. We are seeing scattered showers this morning out over the Blue Mountains, and there's a renewed scattered shower threat. Doesn't look like a storm threat, but scattered shower threat later this afternoon. Temperatures are going to be pretty pleasant statewide, cooler than yesterday. Generally 70s east of the Cascades. We may hold in the 60s up and down I-5, including up into Seattle. And then temperatures at the beach today, 50s to about 60 or 62 at most. Here's the 7-day. Of course, it's Father's Day weekend. We'll go clouds to developing sun breaking through the clouds during the day today. 75 tomorrow, all weekend mostly sunny. 81 on Father's Day, but that's about as warm as we'll go. 81 on Monday, and then the temperatures cool back down as we get into some shower chances starting late Tuesday that continue, at least chance of some rain for several days. Back to you.
Thank you, Rod. All right, no major issues on the roads at 7:41 on your Friday. A little slow right there. This is a live look of I-5 south of Columbia. Pretty clear, maybe a little bit slower than usual, but we'll continue to update you as things change.
If they are not communicating, they are not clicking, or they are not singing.
Keeping orcas safe. Coming up in 2 minutes, how new technology is helping ferry boats spot the whale even at night. Sunrise streaming at 7 continues right after this.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pittawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pittawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
A new tool up in Western Washington has already made waves in helping monitor the area's orcas. Our sister station Seattle shows us how it's helping the critically endangered species.
We all know the feeling. You're riding a ferry and you hope to see an orca. But as much as we love those close calls, it's not good for the safety of the orcas. New technology just launched here in the Pacific Northwest is helping keep an eye and monitor those orcas to cut down on those close calls. Like any ferry trip, you keep your eyes peeled for orcas. But today,
ladies and gentlemen, if you look up our port side, you will see some deer.
It wasn't what you'd expect.
We just saw deer in the water.
A trip without orcas is a bummer for these riders.
Home, Pastor Cap.
All clear.
But Captain Reed feels differently when he sees one in front of his vessel.
How do I get out of this situation?
To avoid them, he taps into a network that relies on hydrophones that listen underwater.
Here's a couple alerts.
Plus people's reports to pinpoint orca locations. But there's a problem with that.
Once the sun goes down, the alerts pretty much stop.
You'll see the fin, and that's unmistakable.
A new infrared camera is helping fix the issue.
The ocean is in dark because it's much colder. Down at the bottom, you can see the shape of the killer whales.
Gonzalo Bandacruz with nonprofit Quiet Sound says a new infrared camera is the first of its kind on the West Coast and is a game changer for monitoring orcas after the sun has set, and they still need to keep an eye on orca movement.
If they are not communicating, they are not clicking, or they are not singing, nobody will know that they are there.
So without this camera, these orcas would go undetected?
Most likely.
And that means large vessels don't know when to slow down overnight, not necessarily because of worries about hitting the orcas, but they need to slow and quiet their engines.
Helping them have a quiet sound where they can thrive.
Because orcas rely on listening to find and eat salmon, and sound pollution from large vessels can hinder their ability to hunt, knowing where they are day or night can give captains time to slow down.
For us, it's a game changer. It's helping us to just up our game enormously.
For now, they just have that one infrared camera near Port Townsend, but they do hope to add at least a few more into the network to keep an eye on the orcas' comings and goings. And don't forget, if you see an orca, you are asked to report it to the Whale Report Alert System.
So we were talking orcas there, but one thing I could not get over is seeing the deer on the water. Did you see that?
No, I missed it, actually.
There was 2 deer on the water, and obviously it was shallow, but the way it was shot, it looked like these deer were just chilling on top of the water. I was like, Noah's coming. Something's happening. It looked weird.
Get a drink of water.
Drink of water, yeah.
That was pretty video. We have a really comfortable day coming up and a nice Father's Day weekend. We are watching some showers moving out across eastern Oregon. You can see that on radar. And if you look carefully, the gray color right here bouncing against Cascades is a push of low marine clouds that we expected this morning. So far, it's not solid, but a lot of us are overcast. It's certainly overcast if you're traveling up to Seattle this morning. No signs or reports of any mist or drizzle. It looks like the cloud deck is low, but too high to expect any of that. There are some showers now in Baker County. Here are those low clouds. Speaking of, over the state capitol, 51 degrees in Salem. From the Portland Spirit Landing in downtown, you're looking at the Tilcomb Crossing, of course, on the left, the south waterfront, but those clouds are pretty solid. Glassy water in the Willamette this morning, 53 out of PDX, 52 in Newport. We're all kind of the same, 50 up in Seattle. 60 out in Pendleton this morning, and nobody out east is chilly. Signs of some cloudiness, but showers in the area. Temperatures are holding Baker City, John Day, and Burns in the 50s this morning. All right, so here are the numbers for your Friday, and we'll get you into the weekend. Looks like the coast likely becomes at least partly cloudy this afternoon after a cloudy start. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s to about 60 for a high. Northwest winds 10 to 15. Here in the valley, it's more of a mixed bag. We do have some breaks in cloud cover in some areas still this morning. So if you are cloudy, generally we expect to become partly cloudy, but maybe not everywhere. The better chance of sunshine is south of Portland, down towards Salem, McMinnville, and Corvallis. Upper 60s expected. And then up in southwest Washington, like Longview, you might just stay cloudy today. 65, your expected high, and then upper 60s expected in Vancouver and Battleground. Certainly cool considered for this type of or time of June. And then we've been talking about the wind, still breezy in the gorge, but not as high as yesterday. The last 2 days have seen winds gusting 35 to 40. Today it's more like 12 to 25. It's a big difference, right? And also those the temperatures are cooler. Yesterday it was about 80. The Dow's 73 today. Hood River only 68. And again, there's really no smoke in the gorge until you get past Hood River, and it's not really that smoky even out in the Dalles this morning. Here's your 7-day forecast. Father's Day weekend, of course, and it'll be a good one. Today, 69, kind of a mixed bag of clouds and sun, but mostly sunny, 75 tomorrow. Mostly sunny and 81 on Father's Day, a similar day on Monday, and then the temperatures cool right back down with shower chances popping up. It still looks like as early as late Tuesday. It is birthday time. We have a 1-year-old. Yes, we do. All right, Monica is 1 today. Happy birthday. Look at those eyelashes. Good grief. Happy birthday to you. All right, Tanner's 4. Wants to be a fireman, it looks like. Happy birthday to you. And then also, this time we want to be a police officer who has a mustache. That's Gianni, who is 10 in Vancouver. Happy birthday to you. Jameson is 12. Hope you have a fun day on this Friday celebrating. Damien is 43 out in Hillsboro. Happy birthday to you today. And then also celebrating is Joan, 68 years young in the Rose City. And celebrating today is Kim, who is I never know if it's a llama or an alpaca. Do we know? Can you tell the difference? I'm told it's a llama. Okay. Happy birthday to you, Kim. And then put your hands together for Helen. Helen's 95 years young today, looking great. Happy birthday to you in Milwaukee. Send us your photos and wishes to birthdays at KGW.com and we will celebrate with you.
The time now is 7:50. It is time for me to do traffic, something that you never thought you would hear. But there's no major issues on the roads this morning. Looking pretty good. Friday light, I think Chris calls it. This is a live look of I-5 at Jansen Beach. Things look to be going pretty smooth over there. We'll keep you posted if anything changes. In consumer headlines this morning, there's growing concern over toxic chemicals in synthetic braiding hair used by many Black women and children. And now a new Consumer Report study is making stylists and families here in Oregon rethink what's safe. Sabina Pierre has that story.
For Amarie Pretty, getting her hair braided has become a source of anxiety.
Sometimes I'm kind of like, I don't want to get my hair done anymore because it's like you don't really know what products you can use and what products you can use, you know?
A recent Consumer Report study explains some of Pretty's fears. It raises health concerns about synthetic braiding hair used by thousands of women. Researchers tested 10 popular brands and found dangerous chemicals in every single product. Brands including Sensational, Shake and Go, and Magic Fingers, which you can find at local beauty supply stores, all tested positive for benzene, a known carcinogen. Dr. James Rogers works for Consumer Reports and tested these products.
Women wear these products, the artificial braiding hair, for 4 to 6 weeks at a time. Sometimes they wear them back to back. So that would represent a chronic exposure to these chemicals that could cause harm.
In Salem, Amarie's mother, Yolanda Pretty, operates Heavy's Above the Cut barbershop and Isaiah's Beauty Supply.
The people that are making this stuff, they know this is what we like, this is what we use. I just don't think it's right that they're putting these chemicals in there to harm us.
After learning about Consumer Reports' findings, Yolanda removed these products from her shelves. Her son Kendrick works as a stylist and sees the economic reality clients face.
It's very expensive to use human hair, and so, you know, a lot of times people just they're turned to using synthetic hair.
Some Oregon consumers are finding alternatives. One Portland woman told KGW she switched to pre-wash apple cider vinegar braiding hair after experiencing scalp irritation and scabs from traditional synthetic products. She says the pre-wash option eliminated her itching and impressed her stylist enough to switch entirely. The Consumer Report study adds to existing concerns about chemicals in hair products. Oregon Congresswoman Janelle Bynum has advocated for safety reforms.
Women aren't putting themselves at risk for the sake of beauty. That's really a challenge.
Currently, the FDA doesn't regulate synthetic braiding hair products, leaving consumers with limited protection.
There is no federal regulation to ensure the safety of this product by our own Food and Drug Administration, and we believe it should be under the Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act.
Consumer Reports recommends customers limit how long they wear braids and wash synthetic hair before use to reduce chemical exposure.
To reduce your exposure, to reduce your risk, cut that down, maybe do 2 to 4 weeks.
For now, Yolanda is doing what she can to protect her clients.
I'm taking it off my shelves. I don't want to know that there's chemicals in this particular brand and I'm still selling it. It's my loss, but I'd rather people be safe.
Sabina Pierre, KGW News.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Police are asking some people to stay inside their homes.
We've watched officers coming and going.
Flames blowing in this wind.
There is no danger to the public. We'll keep you updated.
Stream extended coverage right here on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We have an update on the Ferry Fire burning in Sherman County, just 40 miles southeast of the Rowena Fire. It has now burned over 9,000 acres and is 5% contained. There are level 1, 2, and 3 go now evacuations in place. People who live north of Highway 206 and south of Starvation Lane between the east intersection of Starvation Lane and the John Day River should leave immediately.
Of course, that fire not in as populated of an area overall as the Rowena fire that our Thomas Schultz has been reporting live on this morning in the gorge, where winds will be quite a bit lighter today, so that's good news for the fire crews. Comfortable weekend ahead, 69 today, mostly sunny over Father's Day weekend, including a high Sunday of 81 degrees.
And there's a lot more information of the Rowena Fire that we hope to get. We do know, like I mentioned a little bit ago, that they will have a 7 o'clock meeting tonight at the Dallas High School in the gym to hopefully update everyone on what's going on. Hopefully we can get an update before that. We do have a newscast here at we don't have a newscast here at noon today, so our next update on air will be at 4 o'clock. And you can watch sunrise every day live here exclusively on KGW Plus. Have a great day.